If you're a podcast host, listen up, this one's for you. My name is Allie Jackson. I'm the host of Finding Mr. Height, a dating and relationship podcast that I've been doing for 4 years now, sharing my positive and practical approach to dating that's built on my own life experience. And I wanted to share another experience that I've had, my secret behind monetizing my show. It's called Red Circle, and I was just telling my colleague about how much I love their platform. With Red Circle, not only am I getting a seamless hosting experience, but I also love the support I receive in ad sales. It's not just typical ad sales either. It's targeted opportunities based on my show and my life. And the platform is super simple. You just set your preferences and Red Circle matches you with sponsors that align with your show. You can vet every opportunity and their platform gives you great analytics. More recently too, my Red Circle team has brought me opportunities outside of my podcast on social media to really augment the podcast partnerships, bring them full circle. I just can't recommend them enough. If you want to give it a try, go to redcircle.com to get your free trial. That's redcircle.com for a free trial.
This is Jordan Grace, and you're listening to the Social Suplex Podcast Network.
BWB, this is One Nation Radio. You better get it right. Rich Latta, James Boyd came to give them life. The Blackest Wrestling Podcast has come to kick all ass and drop it 6 feet if they kicking trash. Word, let me welcome y'all to something different. And if you dig it, man, you should let some friends listen. We be getting it in, this on the regular, dude. Ravish and flow, but this shit rule. See, James don't rap, so I had to break it down. The whole network, man, we coming for the crown. Raps in the columns, I keep them both covered. Making the beats too, so the listeners can bump it. Hit us with the rating, yeah, I'm saying it's a 5. Before you hit it, talk, bob your head side to side. It's One Nation Radio, and this is the beginning. It's Rich, and I'm here with James. It's time to listen to One Nation.
We got to unleash the power of the pyramid.
This is Mike Sempervive from WrestlingObserver.com. Check me out on Wrestling Observer Live every day. And also check out your boys, Rich and James, on One Nation Radio.
Hi, this is Kenny Omega. We're listening to One Nation Radio. Check it out, guys. These guys know what's up. Big Kenny Omega fans, and that's all that counts to me. Goodbye and good night. Bang.
Hey, folks. Welcome to this week's edition of One Nation Radio. I'm James Boyd, and hear me out, Rich Latta. What's going on, man?
Not much. Got promoted to purple belt today, so going up the ladder, whooping ass, But yeah, we was talking about snow before the recording had started, and I was talking to James, and he was saying
hold on. You say we talking about snow? This clip's rollout is crazy.
Ain't it? But he mentioned he was fearful of being snowed in, and I was letting him know, I was like, it's really not that bad, and it just depends if the snow is hard or not. So and then just like, what do you mean like that? So certain times, like when it snows, like it can either be hard enough to where you can make a snowball with it, or you see how people make snowmen. There's a certain consistency of water that allows you to pack it. And then other times it's just feathery, powdery, and it just melts, and you can just get it away from whatever you have. You can just take the shovel out there and, and get it out of there. But if it's a hard snow, you might as well just wait it out and go inside.
Okay. So hard snow is colder snow, I guess, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So when it's first coming down, it's normally that powder snow, but it's something with the water that allows it to harden and feel icy. So that's kind of what you need to have a snow fight. King of the North saying hard snow is the heavy snow. Yeah.
Yeah, I also see King of the North, what he also just said a second ago. I see that. Yeah, that's crazy. I get hit with this kind of shit, and it's just how am I attached to this? I don't know how I get it, how I got attached to this, but it keeps happening.
So, we got a fun show for y'all tonight. So I guess we should begin with the WNBA. And do you think I want to talk about the All-Star game? No, I do not.
Boy, I mean, if you want to,
absolutely not.
Look, I had thought about this. Are we not being fair? But are we not being respectful for women by not slandering the lack of competition in the All-Star game this year for WNBA compared to how we slander the NBA All-Star game every single year? We be on their head. We give them a 10 to 15 minute thing about how this shit sucks that they don't try no more. Hey. Meanwhile, they out here doing. It probably was worse than the W compared to because last year they actually tried.
So at least on the guys' side, right? Like, we're like, oh, you can't pay them enough to get them to try. They have no incentive to fuck this All-Star game up in the WNBA side. Like, they're only making $2,500 out there. They actually need to make the game good.
Well, Rich, seeing that they wore those shirts, it seems like, I remember one time you mentioned that, like, I guess Windhorse had said at one point a couple years ago that, like, your players don't try hard because they want to get paid more to be in the All-Star game. In the NBA. Well, seeing that there's they were wearing these shirts that say "Pay us what you owe us," maybe they had a silent strike, or not even a silent strike, a silly strike of their own this particular weekend to get their point across. Is that perhaps what they did?
I'll say this: like, I feel like if Caitlin Clark was playing, somebody would have tried to guard somebody.
I don't know.
When nobody had want to come out there and let her hit them 4-pointers, and if they had 4-pointers, James.
Yeah, I saw that. I saw the wager she had on that, and then that was funny. But
yeah. But the best thing about WNBA All-Star Weekend had nothing to do with the basketball, had nothing to do with the 3-point, nothing with the skills contest. That's right. I'm talking about the stud buds. And if you don't know what the stud buds are, Courtney Williams, Natisha Heidemann, they call themselves the Stud Buds. It kind of is self-explanatory, but in case you still don't understand, these are two studs that are teammates, are funny as hell, and they run a stream typically every Wednesday or whatever throughout the season. Courtney Williams is fucking hilarious. For one,
she's one of the most charismatic athletes in pro sports.
And she made an All-Star team, and she's like the star. And Natisha Heidemann's like a role player on the team, funny as hell in her own right. And like, you put them together, and they found a way, I think, to do any like better promotion and marketing of anything that's not Caitlin Clark that I've ever seen in the WNBA. To humanize people, to make you laugh with them, to get to know them, to entertain. I thought this was so fascinating, and it was like, I don't know if they'll ever do something like this again, because who knows if they'll ever be, teammates, but they've got a brand. They're selling merch. They got Stud Buds velour suits and track suits and shit. And like, Courtney Williams and Natisha Heidemann have a brand. Even when they're done playing, people gonna want to know what's up with the Stud Buzz. Like, Caitlin Clark wanted to be on Stud Buzz and like made it known as many times as she could, and appeared a ton of times on Stud Buzz. Pretty much every player in the league you can think of made some type of appearance on Stud Buzz at some point during this.
I feel like
I don't know if I saw Asia on there.
A little bit. She was there here and there. Nothing that got clipped up the way that like other stuff got clipped up, like Angel Reese or Caitlyn or the Brittany Sykes dance shit. But or like Dejanay and Nalissa. But or Skylar Diggins. That was funny as shit. But yeah, I don't
drinking.
One person that I noticed wasn't there. Alyssa Thomas was not. I don't recall her ever being.
Alyssa Thomas not really fucking with like the festivities.
Yeah,
she'll take a picture or something, but she not really about all the. Him and Han?
Do you see like the whole part where like they had I guess they went to take the picture for team for their team Collier, and all of a sudden they were like, oh. Where is she? We got 11. We're missing a 12th, and then they had to go find her to take the picture. And then they made a joke about it. It was like, damn, like she. And then also the post, some media availability stuff afterwards. She said, "I'll take the fine. I'm not doing it. I'm going." Yeah. So, also one thing I noticed when I was watching some of the stuff for stream was like, aside from teammate Nafisa Collier, like. The power straights, as they call them, the power straights and like UConn, they're just
doing their own thing.
They like this bad for business. That's what it seemed like. They like people like Sabrina Ionescu and Brianna Stewart.
It was at them. It was at the private parties.
Yeah, it seemed like it was like, hey, this ain't good to be. This ain't good for business to be out here like this with them. Like they was about to get exposed. There was they showed a part where I think it was Saturday or Friday, where Caitlin Clark she was out there on the stream. And like Leah Boston grabbed a drink out of her hand and was like, oh no, we can't. It was almost like, no, we can't show her drinking. Like, what do you mean? She's a girl, she's over 21? But it was just funny, like a whole bunch of stuff. Like one thing I've found to like about, like one person I found to like in the W a lot is Leah Boston. Like she seems like the most pleasant, nicest woman on earth. Like, she got a bunch of shit by like, trying to accommodate this new teammate and work around her, and she changed her game, and like people call her all sorts of mean things for her not actually like hating her, not hating Caitlin Clark, even though they don't know their relationship. They only see bits and pieces and make assumptions on Caitlin Clark and her character, and like she just keeps trucking, and she just seemed like super nice. She just does. So shout out to Leah Boston.
Woman of God.
Say again.
That she's a woman of God.
Okay, I didn't know that.
Oh,
but
yeah.
like I saw her next to you talking about the Yukon coalition. I saw her next to Asia a lot in I guess the South Carolina coalition. I also when the Brittany Sykes dancing, like it looked like Asia and Leah Boston had a blast watching Brittany Sykes dance in that Glorilla dance crew thing. It was really fun. It was a really fun weekend.
It was like
and they was showing basketball.
It was showing them in private parties. They were showing them going to the club. They were showing them drinking in the hotel rooms. Kelsey Plum just out here shotgunning Crown Royal.
Like a damn degenerate.
Yes. Kayla McBride is on there like looking like a GD, like walking around with the black bandana on with the braid.
I didn't see that. I missed that.
Like, bro. But bro, I think like Courtney Williams is so fucking funny where it's like, there's a Charles Barkley-like quality to her to where, like, you listen to her, right, and you think she's on some bullshit, but she's not. Like, she's just like, yeah, I kicks it how I kicks it, pretty much, and I don't code switch ever.
Right.
She never code switches.
So I found out she's from Georgia, and now I'm just thinking, like, oh, so that's just like, she's like Ant. She's Ant.
Bro, she went to Georgia, and she went to college at USF.
Yeah, I heard.
What do you think? I feel like I've met Courtney Williams a time or two without even knowing it. Courtney Williams.
That says a lot. It is funny because like you look at her picture from South Florida, is like she looks like the girl next door, and then now with the Rodman hair and everything, and oh man, it's funny. She's hilarious, man. Like,
yeah.
I remember when I first, last year, when I attached myself to the Aces, I really enjoyed. Still like Sid Colson, and like that's even a different level from Sid Colson. Like Sid Colson is just smart, funny. Like Courtney Williams, I don't mean this in no bad way. She just like first thought funny. Like there's nothing intellectual or smart or witty about it. She's just funny. She's just a naturally funny person, and I don't mean that in no bad way. I'm just saying like she just has that kind of charisma to her. And get down. Yeah, like, she's a blast.
Letitia Heidemann is like she's basically like her right hand woman essentially, and it's like the shit that she adds in is just like. All right, like she knows they got something special or whatever. So it's like, I encourage you, if you have not like seen, I'm sure somebody has chopped up like the best of the 72-hour stream at this point on YouTube. Seek this out.
Yeah, you
will see just like, it's funny because like people always talk about like Angel Reese, for example, is like the unapologetically them and all this stuff, right? And this big concept of being unapologetic, right?
Not compared to Courtney Williams, hell no.
Yeah, like the Snowbuzz is like they are showing you what like these two lesbian black women look like, vibe like, get down like, go through life like it's amazing, bro. Like and like they out here trying to pull just like anybody else, and you seeing it on these streams.
Speaking of Angel Reese and Stud Budz, Letitia was trying to fuck
Letitia
her.
Hyde.
She was trying to fuck her this weekend. That was absolutely what's happening. And not only was that obvious, Angel knew that Letitia was trying to fuck her, and Angel was playing into it. That shit was hilarious, bro. This league is weird. Not weird. I'm sorry. This league is wild. Cause like, could you imagine? Could you imagine the male counterparts in the NBA doing that? Like they would have started fighting. Hate crime would have broke out.
Damn, there was something else I wanted to say. It slips my mind, but Megan Rapinoe. Did you hear her walk up and ask Courtney about strapping?
Yeah, because she heard on the stream said that she heard or Courtney said never strap, and then to see a white lesbian push woman walk up to a stud and be like, "What she mean? Are you for real with this never strap shit?" I was like, "Whoa."
That was cross culture. That was cross culture right there, James.
Yeah.
We just didn't know. It was Sue and it was Megan, and then Letitia and Courtney on the other side, and it was like really cross culture. It was like, studs versus the other side.
The other side.
It was cross racial, all that shit. So it was funny as fuck. Like,
yes, it was.
Yeah. So like,
and then Letitia got so damn drunk that they told her ass to go home.
Oh my God.
Early.
They was out there cutting the camera off. It was cutting the camera and cutting the audio out. And shit was getting too wild. The teacher was falling over and shit. I was like, oh my God.
Yeah, that was one night. There was another night. I think the second night. I think it was Saturday. Was it Saturday? Where they go to some club that like Diplo is DJing. They don't know who the fuck Diplo is, which is hilarious, right? And it was like, hey man, this shit ain't good. Turn this shit. And then Diplo don't know who they talking to him. Neither one of them know who each other are. And then eventually, like Diplo plays something, or he doesn't change his play set, but he start playing Heat, and then she start getting into it. He's like, oh, okay. I was like, oh man, this is a trip. This is
amazing.
Like, in the face that she was making when she was like, hold on, he's like, oh shit. Like, white boy might have did something. That was great. It was great, man. It was great.
Oh man. Yeah. Like, so I highly encourage anybody. Like I said, I think it's done more for the league and promoting the league. And obviously, like
the personality.
So, like,
for sure.
Yeah, like they mentioned like Stud Budz on a broadcast and stuff like that. Like they even had Kathy Engelbert on there dancing to Nuck If You Buck. Like this shit was like,
yes,
bro. Just when you think like the shit just keeps getting crazier the more you watch it. Like, and Kathy Engelbert is the commissioner of the league, so it's wild.
Like first off, have you ever seen Roger Goodell, Rob Manfred, Gary Bettman, or Adam Silver in anything other than a suit?
No.
I think I may have seen Goodell one time in a polo top. Kathy is out there just in regular regular casual wear. She out here in her dance, just terrible dancing. And then they start dancing together. That shit was hilarious. To Nuck If You Buck of all things.
Yes, that was like I knew it, and I was watching that live as it happened. I didn't see the clip for that, so I was just like losing my goddamn mind when that happened. But as far as promoting the league, and stuff like
Cheryl, Cheryl was out there dancing too.
Cheryl Reeve on there. Yep.
Yep.
She said it was AI, which was funny as fuck.
Yeah.
Yep. That was funny as fuck. But as far as like promoting the personalities of the league, like shit like Stud Budz is gonna like make stars. Shit like Stud Budz is gonna like get people to care about, like, when the Minnesota Lynx come to your town, the Stud Budz are gonna be more popular now. Like they're gonna be signing more autographs before the game and stuff like that. Like this is the shit that people are gonna show. Like they come to Atlanta like in a few weeks. Like I think I'm gonna go.
Like, bro, there's no like as far as autograph thing, like. Yeah, like Nafis is gonna win MVP at this rate, right? And then it's gonna be like, oh, like T's more famous than Kayla McBride. Like, it's gonna be like that's or more popular anyway. That's gonna be a mind fuck because of the stream. Yeah, that's gonna happen.
James Brown YL WNBA BTE. Yep, that's exactly what it is.
Basically, what it feels. Yes, that's what it feels like. That's what it feels like. And like, don't get me wrong, there are a bunch of other W streams, right? Like there is Sanaya and Marina Mabry. That's another part about this. Like
they be doing TikToks and shit.
Okay, yeah. They haven't streamed before. Or you mean they go live on TikTok?
I think they go on TikTok.
Okay, yeah, okay.
Like,
so you have that.
Do their videos.
You had Sid and her partner from last year, not partner like partner, but the partner like podcast partner, stream partner. Like you have that around, but like this is hitting on something different. This is hitting on something different, and like that's another part about this whole weekend is like. The access that they got because they're W players and they felt comfortable talking to them is like when people talk about the new media thing, the new media part is like what the athletes do to media is like the athletes actually trust the other athletes to be able to let their guard down and say things that and give them access that otherwise other reporters would not get unless it's absolutely like, you know, completely curated and handheld and manufactured and feels inauthentic, right? Like, so like, for example, the 520 podcast, right? You've never heard Jason Tatum have any kind of personality at all until he's on that podcast, right? To have, you know, these rumored relationships in the W that people would talk about, and then they just bring it out there, be like, oh yeah, that's a thing, and they just move on. No, they don't harp on it, they just move on, right? So I'm not going to talk about, I'm not going to name no names, but like there were like at least 3 of them that I peeped. That they just brought out this week and one that actually was mentioned and actually like was talked about and brought to the forefront was AZ Fudd and Paige Becker's their relationship or whatever, because Paige actually did an interview about it. So I'm okay talking about it because she said it, right? But like there's 2 other ones that's like one was like people been like, come on now, we know what's going on. They want to act dumb. And then it got outed. And then there was another one that like I had no idea was even happening.
Yeah, and same.
Yeah, so it's WNBA BT. That definitely is minus. You know, yeah, it ain't no skits, but like it's funny as skits. The shit that's going on or doing that stream. Yeah, definitely. Yeah,
it's really great.
I wonder, you know, it went off so well. You wonder if like they're going to be allowed to do it next year, or if like. Or people are going to try to get their hands on it and make it less organic. And then people will be like, it's not the same. Or, you know, it's going to be like when people don't know no different, they end up on reality shows. And like reality shows, like they have multiple seasons. And they see how crazy they look on the first season. And then the second season they come back and they all of a sudden they behave. Yeah. You might get people start behaving now. You'd be like, I wasn't expecting for all that. So we'll see. But this was a special moment in time this weekend.
So like we'll always have this shit. Like I imagine their like sponsors are gonna be hitting them up. Like I hope they get a bag from this shit. Honestly, bro.
I do too. Like people like Sid and people like Courtney and people like T. They should have media deals. Like they should be the future correspondents, and you have podcasts like 520 and all these other places do. It's like you want people to get into the league or whatever else. That should be the route. Like these people should be sponsoring them to you know be themselves in that way. And like you mentioned the Barkley thing, you made a comparison. That's a good one because Courtney does give off. She can say anything and like people ain't gonna come for her. It'll slide. Like she's that kind of charismatic and charming. Yeah. Yeah. And I'm not saying she's problematic, but I'm saying like I think that she could actually step you know make a misstep and like survive it.
Right. But yeah, go out of your way to see it. Again, I repeat, it was so entertaining, so fun. It was like the thing, like it got me through being sick all of last week, was just watching Stud Budz. I was like, well, I ain't doing shit. I might as well just load it up here and just, you know, let that shit play. So it was pretty great. But I want to talk about the first half of the year of wrestling. We're just past, you know, we're in the middle of July now, so we're a little bit late doing this. But I want to talk about things that we liked in wrestling and things that we didn't like so far this year. So, like, I guess we can start with the likes. We'll lead with love, you know, as I'll say. I thought that the way that AEW's kind of figured out who their cast of characters are, like the baby faces, I think, and putting them in position once they yanked all the old guys off TV. I thought that was really inspiring to see from pretty much that February show that I was at going forward. I walked in the building and then, I walked out and it was a different company after that. I don't know what happened. It was a coincidence, But
did you threaten Tony Khan with Taekwondo violence?
I mean, I had to let him know, like, Tony Khan, like, hey man, don't fuck this up, dog. Like you got a rare opportunity right now.
Look, I'm gonna tell you this right now, Tony Khan. Speedball Mike Bailey will not protect you.
We learned the same
from the
shit,
Taekwondo.
But just like I think it's been meticulously booked, like just like the threads like that literally played out until the All-In main event, with all the cast of characters, like all felt important, all were contributing to this direction going forward. I really like that.
Yeah, I'm with you on that for sure. I think one of the big things for me is, just straight up, like, the Young Bucks coming back. Like, the Young Bucks being the Young Bucks again. Like, it was one of those things where last year we were talking about, it's like, yeah, they've had a great year. Like, one of the very best matches of all of 2024 was Sting's retirement match. Right? One of the very best matches of the year last year was the title change over to Private Party. But in between that, given what the Young Bucks have done, it felt like a step down as far as what they were doing in the ring. We asked questions, and then, they were on Tunnel Talk, and they were like, we're doing this on purpose. It's like, well, why? You've been heels in AEW before and had, kept your level of matches at a certain level, and it came down last year. What's the thing? And then they came back this year, same characters, still the EVP, still evil, still all that. And they said, hey, let's actually, like, let's cut the shit. And, like, they turned it up. And they, them in part, along with Swerve and Willow Nightingale and Will Ospreay, they helped, get some of the sting off of Death Riders. It made the show, them coming back made the shows better. They were invaluable to the turnaround. Like you mentioned the three guys, as you mentioned them, basically we're going to bet the farm on Ospreay and Paige and Swerve, but also like one of the all-time acts in this company decided to return to their prior glory. And that was important for, the last 3 months of the year, or last 3 months so far. So yeah, that was very big. I'm very happy to like not have to have these crises be like, hey man, are Young Bucks washed? I don't want to have these conversations. Those were fun,
yeah.
Right? Like it wasn't fun to have it. Like that conversation we were having about Ricochet, beginning of last or towards the end of last year. That wasn't fun to have. But like, hey man, one of our favorite acts, like is it the end? Are they on the come down? That wasn't fun. And then all of a sudden, Ricochet, ever since the Swerve match, he's been great. Those ain't fun conversations to have. We don't want to actually have them, but it's like, hey, we're being honest. Like, hey, we don't like what we're seeing out of this person or this act.
Yeah, like, and you bring up Ricochet. I think that's a good place. I'll take it next. Like with that guy, like he was like kind of like he's almost speed ran whatever he was as a babyface, and it was like, all right, he can continue being the same Ricochet, and he's just not going to achieve to the same levels that he did in the past simply due to Father Time. Like, that's what it was feeling like. Mm-hmm. And then, like, the second he got, like, some good creative direction, he got an opponent that actually cared about him. He got, good ideas, and he just was like, all right, it doesn't matter if I'm, like, 10% worse as a wrestler, quote unquote. Mm-hmm. His character became so strong, and he tapped into like something, that was clearly real, like with how he could react, to the audience, and then the bald thing. They were giving him a gift from God. I remember when they started doing the bald chants and stuff like that. I was like, they are engaging with him and they're giving him something, and it's on him to figure it out, like what he can do with it. And God bless him, he did it. So like, and he has a unit now. I imagine he's going to end up getting a title shot this summer.
I could see that. That'd be very fun to see Adam Page versus Ricochet. Hey man, should we talk about that trademark that he registered for recently?
Or
Ricochet registered for a trademark called the Light Skin Kingpin.
I love it.
I do too. It's so dumb. It's so dumb and it rhymes. That shit finna ring off, bro. I already know it. It's gonna ring off.
He gonna be like, the Light Skin Kingpin, and drop the mic like.
Yes, with his arms raised in the air like he won, like victoriously. Yes, it's gonna be great. It's gonna be so great.
So last time I said, will Rich be disputing it? Nah, he got that one. How T.I. used to call himself King of the South.
Yeah. Do you remember?
He could be the light skinned Kingpin. I ain't got no problem with it.
I don't know if you remember this. Like when Rick Ross, Port of Miami came out, and he was on the basement on BET. He was on Rap City, the basement. He tried to start some shit about T.I. He was like, you call himself the King of the South. And it seemed, back then it just felt like, hey man, what's going on? Like, are you upset you didn't get a feature? Is that what's going on? But he was like, I don't know how you can call yourself the King of the South when you got people like Bun B and Pimp C and, and whatever else. So like, and I remember it was so funny because like, Pimp C, like, I don't care about that shit. You got it. You came up with this shit. I don't care. Scarface, same thing, right? It's like, you can't be doing.
I don't want to be the king of nothing. Like,
right. But it wasn't even the flip thing. It was just like, there's a separate situation where Rick Ross trying to do that then, right? Because like the Scarface down with the King thing was years before Rick Ross even had Hustling. So it was like, you try to run the same game except with Pimp C instead of Scarface. It's like, it ain't gonna work. Like, he don't care. These people don't care about that shit. It's like, all right, man. Like, it's like, it's like, he came up with it. It is what it is, right? So, but as far as Ricochet, like, where do you think this, do you think he's gonna use the heavies in, the embassy? With Khan and the other guy, like, do you think they're just gonna be heavies, or do you think they're actually gonna pass this?
I think they're heavies.
Just heavies. Yeah, you don't think they're over in the future be like try out for like the trios titles or anything like that?
Nah, because I think there's too much value in Ricochet working with the top of the card, like and basically being somebody that can bounce amongst those big three or whatever. Because like the way. Osprey's characters, Ricochet's characters refresh. You can always do him in Swerve again. You can always do him in Osprey, and then you can do him in Hangman. Basically, if I'm a wrestler in this company right now, I'm figuring out how can I be working with one of those three guys or whatever. Also, and what do I have to do?
There's also, depending on how this goes, like there's an MJF Ricochet thing there to turn Ricochet back babyface, like in the future, not now, but like when it's time for him to like turn back babyface, MJF can turn him back babyface.
MJF can turn down there anybody babyface.
That's true.
I love what Bandito has done this year. He's really broken out post wrist injury. Got the win over Chris Jericho. That's right, Chris Jericho shooting people off to the stars. And Bandito's been phenomenal. He's been one of the best wrestlers in the world. Yep. I think a most outstanding candidate, and ROH world champion. And we'll see, how it goes. Like if he can break into the AEW mix or anything, but him with the ROH belt and him getting, this focus and spotlight really makes me happy because like, with the departure of Rey Fenix, Pentagon, it was like the door was wide open for like the next like great luchador to be like, all right, I'm the best luchador in the world now, essentially. Like with Bandito, and then coming further down the pike, is like, Mascara Dorada. Hechicero just signed with AEW as well. It's like this guy was always coming. I've loved this guy since the first time I ever saw him wrestle. So happy to see him back doing his thing.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, he's been great. And like, I mean, I get this at this point, is it time to talk about the not conglomeration, because that's Orange Cassidy's thing, but like what's on the horizon with the Young Bucks and Don Callis family, and the Young Bucks kind of being or the Elite kind of being, they're connecting into that again. Like, that's going to be fun. That's going to be fun. And like, quite honestly, I don't know if they're doing Blood and Guts this year. I don't know. But if they do, I would much prefer Don Callis family / the Elite being in Blood and Guts than like John Moxley being in Blood and Guts like for the third year straight, I think, something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it's like they got so many options because they're already loaded, and then you throw the Young Bucks and Okada there. It's like, my goodness. And like that is a great landing spot for the Elite, like post EVP-ism. So yeah, that could be really fun because that could, they can always be like, you can have Hangman and Omega, link up to do some type of match based off of, the storylines converging, all that kind of stuff. You could definitely do that.
I feel like the Young Bucks whole thing is like setting up for them to end up as baby faces again. And they're doing like a complete deconstruction of the EVP. Like they're no longer EVPs in storyline.
Yeah.
Yep.
And it's so easy for Don Callis to screw them over because that'll always work. Yep. You're right. That could happen. Absolutely.
I think AEW has been really good about introducing new people into the company that were ready to really just step in, whether it's Speedball Mike Bailey, Kevin Knight, Mina Shirakawa, and there's another person I'm thinking of.
Tekla?
Tekla. Josh Alexander. These people are contributors and, are able to just, step right in. And it's not like a weird thing with them where it's like, oh, you're taking someone's whatever. It's like, no, they're just rolling out, doing their thing. And it's like, it is working like for each of them kind of in their own way. I think Kevin Knight has great long-term potential with AEW. I think the Mina eventually, or she actually has a belt right now. They, got new
she's
people.
She's a Ring Honor Women's TV champion, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Alex Windsor just came in. Like the signings have just been great, and her theme song, that Windsor, like they got to figure that out.
Is that what? Oh yeah, her sting at the front of it. So that's what. Yeah. That's what they're doing in the chat. I was like, what is Windsor?
Yes.
Okay.
Windsor. You gotta hear that shit. It's funny as fuck.
Okay. Yeah.
Anything in particular else you like, James?
As far as AEW, I mean, that's pretty much the gist of it. Like if you had told me, I mean, we did this with Tunnel Talk, right? Where we had the thing, and they were asking us like, do you think this is all fucked and we're done? And we were both like, yeah, it's over. It's gonna be a slow. Yeah. It's gonna be a slow march to pain, and this turned over quick in a hurry to where like they're doing some of their best stuff they've ever done, and that's saying something because it's the best weekly episodic television show for pro wrestling ever, Dynamite. So yeah, they've killed it. They've completely turned this thing around. Yeah, like the only thing that I really have a real hang up with or whatever else is like, when are they going to get to Hurt Syndicate? Like, when are they going to get to them like playing ball with the rest of the promotion? Like, I know you want Copeland launched to outer space. I'm okay with it. Like him and FTR doing that. Low stakes. It's not the top of the card. I'm fine with it.
I'd probably be remiss if I didn't mention like the great work of Tony Storm and Mercedes.
Oh yeah,
and like the rebuilt women's division. I totally forgot. Megan Bain coming in, and like, and that's the other one.
That's another one.
New people coming in. Willow and Statlander, like they're all like just getting better. Like, and they've really earned more.
That $100,000. That $100,000 4-way was like, all right, man. Like there's 3 times as many of them around still. Like, like they have 12 very good women's wrestlers. like you can ask any of them seemingly to, hey, drop of a hat, go out there and go have a high quality match. So,
absolutely.
Yeah. It's, this is not 2019's AEW Women's Division. It's not. It's not. And like, after going through that year and they're reviewing, be like, hey man, this ain't good enough. Like, they have brought Athena over and it's finna get even filthier. So yeah.
I thought Hiroki Goto's title win was fucking incredible and like one of the best things I've ever seen in wrestling. I thought Kenny Omega and Gabe Kidd at the Dome was out of this fucking world.
Yeah.
Trying to think. I thought Ricochet and Zack Sabre Jr.'s main event after that was a performance full of pride. Just like professional pride. Like, hey, we know what the fuck we got to follow. And they hit the ring like, they were like, yo, I don't know if we gonna do it, but we gonna fucking go out guns blazing and try. I really appreciated that. But as far as stuff we didn't like, ooh, man, I guess I should bust it open, whatever.
Well, before we move on to that, I just want to point out, like, while
Kamatani Tam, how about that stuff too?
Kamatani and Tam in All-Star Dream Slam or Queendom, whatever it was called, like the Yokohama Arena show, like that was, I mean, that's at worst the third best wrestling show I've seen all year, like at worst. And I quite honestly, I still think it's probably second, right? It was an amazing show. To have that Mayu and Shuri match, like given that those had, for the longest, I think for the first half of this decade, I think those were the two best women's wrestlers in the world. And they had never had their flat out, unequivocal classic match that they ever had with each other. And you would see them in the chemistry they had with each other in trios and tag matches. It was like, there's no way they don't have, something approaching 5 in their back pocket whenever they wrestle each other. But they never got it. It was always, 4.5. You feel disappointed because you know that there's an absolute all-time classic in there. And like for them to go out there and have that match in Mayu's last match in Stardom, like that meant something to me. And whatever I was watching it, for them to finally have a match where it's not like a game, almost like a race where Mayu's behind and catches up, or Mayu's behind and she can never keep up. Where it's like, no, they're having a match where they're equals, and the Shuri's beats her at the end. That was awesome. To have Starlight Kid and Azumi have the semi-main event status, Starlight Kid and Azumi, they're both in a white belt match when it's like Azumi finally gets her first white belt match after all these years. And that match is awesome. It's not as good as their two high-speed matches, but it's still a 4.5-star thing. And then the Tam and Kamatani match where Tam, she had, a lot of people are gonna say that's her best match ever. I gotta rewatch it. At the time I gave it 5 stars. It probably is a 5-star match still. People love that match. I just can't believe that that's something I never had in the cards for her, right? Like when I first started watching her, I was like, she's actually good. I'm gonna start, when I'm watching Stardom, like Momo's great, but this Tam girl's got something. And to get to that possibility where, like, I never thought that Tam's going to have a universal or consistent 5-star match from the wrestling world. It was always to be some, high 4 3/4 with Tam, with Julia, right? But she surpassed it somehow. And she had her best match in her last match, she gone. And then Kamatani, she gets all of that. She gets the Twilight Dream as her super finish, similar to how, or not super finish, but it gets added to the repertoire of moves that means something, like with Chris Daniels and the Angel Wings for Adam Page. Like, yeah. And she's been on fire, and like she is doing something different in Joshi, and it's really cool, like seeing it from afar. Like I haven't been following it closely, like I haven't been watching like I have, but like people are into it, and like they're drawn like crazy with her. And it also seems to be ruffling feathers of, the traditionalists, if you will, so that's always good. It's always good.
I guess we'll go into the stuff I didn't necessarily love or anything like that. So I think Kenny Omega has been great in the ring. I think for what you've seen him like literally put on the board has been like spectacular, giving like his physical condition this year. And I feel like everything around him has failed him, whether it's the presentation, the inconsistent kind of storytelling around him, the lackluster storytelling around him, the myth making around him, I feel like is completely broken. And with the New Japan, I didn't like how they did the return. They stepped on his New Japan thing simply because they could. I thought that, outside of the matches, there hasn't been much. And there has not been that thing that shows he's really very important, to the company anymore. And, people will say, oh, they're moving on from this era and stuff like that. But I'm like, look, if
you want to move on from that era, put him in the ring with those people that are going to take it. That would make more sense.
I was going to say, and I would say, Tony Khan will make things as important as he feels like they are. And I feel like we have many examples of this, and it just doesn't feel like, whether it's limited dates are doing this, whether it's physical capabilities, whether it's I don't know what it is, but I feel like the presentation has been rottenly inconsistent and has really left me kind of like empty-handed kind of feeling. Like watching it, it was like I think he's still an awesome wrestler. He's one of the best wrestlers in the world still. And there's just not the thing behind him. They've tried to give him all the crazy pyro and stuff like that, the huge entrances, but it just has not, for me, connected in a way to where it feels like they really understand what they have in this guy still. I just don't feel like they're nailing it.
That's been a problem with Kenny Omega throughout his whole entire tenure in AEW, aside from the heel title run, honestly. When he first came in and he was doing the skits with Nakazawa to, him, in a lot of the rest of the elite, putting people over left and right in the first, 4 months of the run of Dynamite. There was a lot of that. So I get your complaint and I agree with your complaint, but I don't necessarily see it as anything different from what has been with Kenny Omega for the most part in his AEW run when he's been around. They've never pushed him outside of the heel run. They've never pushed him like he was the top guy. And I disagree. And I disagree with them that they should have at some point made him the top babyface for a run. They should have got something out of that. They just never did. The only thing they got out of that was the heel run, the top heel run. So I think at this point, we kind of missed the boat on that, and that sucks. But when he came back from diverticulitis, it's like he has felt like a luxury as opposed to a cornerstone, and it's a hell of a luxury to have one of the elite wrestlers of all time can come out here with anybody that you decide to pick to do this with, and on pay-per-view go give you 4.5 plus every single time. But it is, for the people that have seen, the reality of the legend of Kenny Omega over the last decade, it does feel like they left something on the table. And I just feel like at this point, like, we're never going to get, I think we're past that. We're past the point of them ever getting to that. I think we're past that point of thinking they're ever going to do that. But I still appreciate what I'm getting out of them. But I agree with you. It like from month to month, it seems like they don't know what they're doing with him sometimes.
Yeah. And I think there was like a renewed fervor around him when he first came back, because obviously that diverticulitis thing really put his career into jeopardy, and it raised the questions of, have they really ever maximized this guy like that? Right. So when he came back, this is square in the middle of John Moxley shitting down his leg every week, and it's like, why have they never committed to Kenny Omega in the same fashion? Like, and it was like at a fever pitch when he came back, and I think within weeks that was distinguished like amongst the fan base. And this is like,
because they went straight to the Ospreay stuff, the Ospreay tag stuff. Yeah.
Yeah.
And now, going forward, like, I mean, it seems like they're about, you know, I can't say it seems, but like, I'd imagine, given, you know, that he's around, like, I think he's going to be a part of trying to revitalizing the tag division with Golden Lovers. That's something that's, I mean, he lost the title. I mean, there's still a match there because of the, you know, the way Tony Khan phrased it with the Continental rules, whatever else, was like, you know, that match got tainted with the Callis interference or Callis family interference. And if they ever have, you know, and going forward, the Continental rules will be applied and I will fire everybody. It seems like they're begging for a rematch for that, but it's like, I don't know how much of there is an appetite for a game 6, if you will. Given, you know, I think a lot of people loved that match or thought the match was awesome, but like, they're still like, it wasn't the first 4 because it wasn't.
Yeah. Something else I would probably say I didn't like. I think WWE has been categorically tragically awful, and because we don't actually cover it week to week or anything like that, it's understated on how awful it is. Like when you lay out all the ideas on paper that they did this year and how it like we're talking about structure and we're talking about feeling like what it knows what one's doing month to month. I dare somebody to try to put this year together with WWE. Like, so
I guess my question would be, Are we doing it in comparison in a vacuum, or are we doing it in comparison to AEW's year?
I really don't compare them because I don't really think there is much of a comparison. Truthfully,
so like I'm guessing like will you compare WWE 2025 compared to like let's say I don't know WWE main roster 2018 or a good year or a better year like 16 or whatever else, right?
Right now for me, I feel like there should be a higher ceiling than those years because obviously Triple H
they got more talent. They got more talent. They got Vince out the way. Yeah.
They got like better like exposure, quote unquote, like with the Netflix thing, which I don't know. I think eventually we're gonna have a question whether Netflix actually makes them more popular or not. I don't know. And then, like, you could compare them to, like, 2 years ago, like, how it kind of felt like, you know, they were firing all cylinders. And then as the honeymoon of Paul Levesque ends, and it's time for him to come up with, you know, whatever, like, we got Jey Uso winning the Royal Rumble and that just falling flat. I feel like
that's kind of like the what do you call it?
They hit the iceberg.
Iceberg. I was gonna say the boiling point on it. Like that's where the tables turned on all this. Like people pot for it, all that kind of stuff. And then people were like, "Oh shit, Jey Uso's going to be the world champion." Like it's one of those things where it's like, be careful what you wish for. You just might get it. And when they got it, you're like, "Oh yeah, we haven't enjoyed it." That's why they moved over, got it back to Gunther, and did the Goldberg thing recently.
Yeah. You know, they've pulled the trigger on like a John Cena retirement tour, which has been
that I feel like that is one of the things is like that's sinking it worse than anything. Like it's been so bad. They took this company away from like the era that I think the fans were appreciating it and living with it. Like they saw as the big stars, the Bloodline, Cody Rhodes, and all this stuff, and then they were like, "We're gonna go back a generation," and it's like. I feel like they just read it all completely wrong. And are you including CM Punk in the Cena sauce too? By going back generation?
I think CM Punk is his own thing.
Okay,
I would say no because CM Punk was around previously. He is walking into someone.
I was wondering if I was wondering if that's where you were going when you mentioned the generation. Go back a generation. I was wondering. That's all.
Yeah, but I think like. They didn't have any ideas for Cena that were interesting or compelling. They were like, when we were talking about Ron Killings outshining him at a certain point in the news cycle and everything, we're like, huh? And then, tragic retreads with John Cena and CM Punk and John Cena and Randy Orton, no. I think all that's been really bad. I think Cody being gone and then Roman being gone, and when you tie things to Seth Rollins, that typically doesn't go well. And then now they're doing this work injury thing with him, which is like with a Money in the Bank briefcase. It seems like the ideas are all over the map. They still have no young stars. And the young stars they did have, they made them stand in a group behind Seth Rollins. So
I think there's also this, and we haven't talked about it yet. There's also a part where like Rock completely fucked them.
Yeah, the Rock Triple H.
I'm sorry, Rock and Travis Scott fucked them completely.
Yeah, that WrestleMania main event, that shit is tragic. Like all time, put them in a coffin. Type, deal right there.
Do we need to go back and like in retrospect watch that and be like, oh yeah, bro, like Travis Scott came out in the middle of that match.
Led to nothing.
He came out in the middle of that match while John Cena had the advantage in the match. What? Cena had the advantage in the match. Fiend starts playing, and then Cena starts smiling like, yes. My partner in evil is out here. You're already winning. Dump Cody on his head.
Yeah, bro. All these old wrestlers taking up spots, regardless of promotion.
That's just tradition. That's everywhere. Yeah. That's always been the case.
Yeah, I think it's time to fucking go. Adam Copeland, 80%. Let's get him up out of here. I'm done with the Hurt Syndicate right now. I'm done with John Cena. It's just like, bro,
Cena had
get
been
the
bad.
Fuck out of the way, bro.
Cena been bad for years since he stopped being a full timer, and then they made him the champion, and now he's even worse than he's ever been because now he's being bad on purpose now. When he was trying to be good, it was bad. Then it's all fucked up. Like, bro, like Cody has to destroy him at SummerSlam. Cody needs to destroy him at SummerSlam.
This should just be a squash, bro. Like
it needs to be a thorough John, like the red, white, like the red, white, and blue WWF Vince McMahonism of patriot babyface like title, like that like the lineal title, right? Like it goes from Hulk Hogan, and then it goes to like, I don't know, Steve Austin / The Rock, and then it goes to John Cena, and John Cena held it for 20 years. Like, Cody needs to flat out take that American crown off that nigga's head, and like, it's just mine. Like, I am the successor of all this.
Trying to think what else. I think New Japan has been very uninspiring. I think Gato's got to go. There's just not a lot to pull you in.
How many years in a row have we said that at some point? Has it been 4 years where you said that at some point? 3 years?
I would say
since House of Torture. When did House of Torture start?
I think when Evil 2020.
2020. So it's been basically 5 years at some point we have been following New Japan. We'll be like, hey man, we got to get Geto out of here. And he's found ways to fix it, and then they'd be like, yeah, it's turned around, back in the dish. We can get him out of here.
Like, I don't know who followed him on.
Like this beginning of this year, right? He found a way to circle the drain. He was circling the drain, like, you done turned around a little bit. Suji, Gabe Kidd, he got something back in the drain.
I was going to say, I don't know who followed up on Kenny Omega versus Gabe Kidd worse, AEW or New Japan. Like, what the fuck did they do with Gabe Kidd after that? Like, they decided he couldn't beat Tomohiro Ishii. Like, he had to go to 30-minute draws with him. He couldn't win a match for the longest time. There's a lot of questions to answer there.
That Dominion, like, they talk about Wasabi King, talking about, I was just about to type evil. Yeah, bro, that 2020 Dominion, that's going to live on forever.
Forever, brother.
No, I'm sorry, not Dominion. There's Dominion, but there's also like when he finally turned heel on Naito. So that was the anniversary show, right? Or no, that's New Japan Cup. New Japan Cup.
New Japan Cup.
Yep. New Japan Cup. Yep.
Because they did it back to back that year.
Yep.
So, yeah, I hated the fucking Death Riders too. Like, because call me worked, I was worked. Whatever. I don't give a fuck. Get that shit off the screen, brother. Get it out the main event.
Having bad matches on purpose. There is a work. You're the one getting work. You're working yourself. You, the worker, has turned into the mark.
Oh, what else? But I think TKO has been awful, like in the counter programming at every type of thing. Like, I think all that
why you throwing the shit bag at UFC now? We really talk about UFC. You're like, TKO, get him out of here.
Fuck them.
You mean as a company, like as far as like they're worse, they're even more heartless than Vince? Is that what you're getting at? That's true. That's true.
It sucks to say that.
That's true.
It's like, and I think we used to whisper these things. I'd be like, all right, man, I'm gonna start saying it like out loud. And I feel like I can say that now and not like have people laugh me out the room. Like their business practices suck for their own employees. They suck for the fans, whether they know it or not.
Yep.
And then, they're going to suck for the wrestlers. Like, it's coming for them, too.
And then when they make a star, the star says, I want to get paid like a star. And then Dana White goes out here and is like, we'll never use you again. Fuck you, Francis Ngannou. Oh, but also remember before
wrestling.
Remember for the longest, right? McGregor. I don't want to use McGregor no more. Same thing when it came to the Bone Jones for a while. Look, they was begging, cleaning, doing all this shit to accommodate Bones Jones and John Jones and his fucking suspensions and all that shit. And then all of a sudden he asked for money to go heavyweight. They were like, I don't know if we want to use him. And now
we ain't got it.
Now, yeah, line answers. Yeah, man, it's like that now. WWE, these dudes ain't getting paid. These dudes ain't even getting paid to go over to Saudi Arabia.
Crazy. This is crazy,
right? Like there was some old like Vince McMahon ruled that if they fired you, your severance would be like you get a month for every year you use with the company. Now that shit out the window.
2 weeks.
Yep.
Crazy. Like, yeah.
Cuts is back and more fierce than ever before.
So who?
The cuts are back and they're more fierce than ever before.
Yep. So I guess we'll move on. The AEW's follow-up to Revolution was in Chicago at some unique-looking building. I thought it looked great on TV, and man, I just logged in and saw all the grifters of the world just like asking the same questions. Like it was like they were reading off a script. Talking about this is how you follow up All In, and you draw 1,200 people, and all of a sudden I'm just like, we watching it on TV, bro. Like I don't understand. Like the crowd is hot, they're loud.
Meanwhile, right, where was what was that Raw 2000 when they did that little side segment at Hammerstein Ballroom because of the history of Raw? Oh, never mind.
Forget that. Never happened.
Yeah.
They put all them niggas in that one spot, and then the regular shit was dead. That was funny.
Yeah. So Raw 25. Brewhaven got it right. Raw 25. It wasn't Raw 2000. It was Raw 25. Yeah. Raw, yeah. So anyway, it's like, it's just one of those things that's just annoying. It's like, hey man, like, I'm old enough, and not only am I old enough to remember this stuff, that means that you also saw this stuff too, and you're either pretending or you forgot. Either way, you're wrong when y'all do this. Like, the small, intimate venues are cool. Now, would you rather the promotion be able to sell 10,000 tickets every fucking week? Sure. But in lieu of that...
But that's not realistic.
Not only is that not realistic, if they had that capability, you know what would be cool? To do a 10,000 seat building in Arena Mexico one week, and the next week do 10,000 seats somewhere else. Because the building looks different. It makes the show different. It gives it a less antiseptic human feel and character. So yeah,
right.
It's like when they go to when they go overseas or whatever. When they go to Europe and they do a show, they do a Raw over in Europe. They'd be like, this crowd's great. Why do you think that is? They add. It's a difference of character from week to week. You're not watching. You don't feel like you're watching. Almost like you're watching from the video game.
It's like you'll remember if you ever see this like in a video package or some shit or like an old thing, they'd be like, oh, that was when they went, they were in Chicago during that residency. That's what that was. Right. Just like when I was a kid and I would see Bret Hart and Shawn Michaels and Psycho Sid in that big ass stadium. I was like, oh, they're in the fucking Toronto Stadium. I remember that. It's like early 1997. Like these are like things that like,
if you are, keep in mind, this is a tour. It's an endless tour. But it's never in the tour, but it's a tour. Monday Night Raw, SmackDown, Dynamite, Collision, these are tours. So anything that can make you remember whatever stop you were at this particular time is actually a good thing, not a bad thing. They say, like, when people watch WWE, Raw, or SmackDown, or whatever else, it's not necessarily a good thing that you can't remember what town it doesn't necessarily matter in the grand scheme of things if you can remember what town something happened at, or whatever. But, like, if you have something that can make you distinct or whatever because of the crowd or the way the building looked, it helps you remember what stop you were and what time, and puts you in time and place and what was going on, right? Like, so for example, right? This is a bad example or a negative of this, right? I will never forget when at the end of 2018, when they were in Milwaukee and they were out there doing the vaccination shit in the gas mask stuff with Dean Ambrose. I'll never forget that. That was bad. And then, or I think also that same episode when they were they had like Corbin Goon beat the shit out of people. And Drew McIntyre and Bobby Lashley are lackeys for Baron Corbin.
Crazy.
That's the negative of that.
But like, you can just think about Japan. Like, you can always remember what a Cork and Hall show looks like, or right. Like on what a big Japan match tour. Was in front of it
on a New Japan tour.
When
they do
what the dome looks like,
and they go to Sapporo.
Yep. Like, you know what the dome looks like,
or when they go to Osaka Edion Arena, because that show's always great. But you get my point.
All those classic, like, All Japan matches, like, you know what the fuck Budokan Hall looks like. Yes. These are like the same, like, it's the same kind of thing, but like in America, of course, because everyone has to be a fucking grifter, or they have some type of agenda or something like that, you know, or they were passed notes by whatever fucking PR person or whatever. They don't want to use their brains and think about coolness or whatever. That's kind of where we're at on this. So like when I see like someone like Adam Copeland, for example, he performed most of his career in that sterile environment that we're talking about, where everything looked the same and they were pulling up that same set everywhere, you know, and that just was how they did it or whatever, right? But to see them in unique venues, it's like, oh, okay, this is different or whatever.
Right.
And this is why it was cool. Well, this is why people talk about Club La Vela to this day with WCW Nitro. It was why the first AEW Fighter Fest, like when they had the sand and they had all that stuff, people liked that shit because, you know, you saw the palm trees. They're in Daytona. It's the same building where the NWO was formed.
Hog Wild.
It's just little cultural things like Arthur Ashe, the first time they ever went there. That shit looked great. That was like, oh shit, this is going to be their own fucking venue.
Every time they go to Daly's Place.
Daly's Place, perfect. Because that's like, one, that became identifiable with the promotion. And then it's almost a rite of passage for every wrestler in AEW to wrestle at Daly's Place. Because that's where the shit came from, essentially. When they go to California and they're in the Great Western Forum and stuff like that, they're just unique venues. You know what they look like.
Hell, when WWE in the last few years, every time they go to MSG, you see the roof. The roof looks different from any other roof.
NXT is going to center stage where you know, WCW was taped for years and years. And ECW Arena and shit like that. Like, people will understand it when it's like ECW Arena, but they see some new shit and then all of a sudden they short circuit. Like, they don't know what the fuck's going on. We don't know what the fuck they have planned for the Chicago Aragon Ballroom or whatever it is. They've got a pretty solid show the first week, and you know, that 8-man tag and Kyle Fletcher versus you know, Mascara Dorada. We saw the 6-man tag. We saw Hangman Page debut the championship there. 100,000 women's 4-way. You know, the rise of Nick Wayne, Kazuchika Okada and Swerve facing off. Like, these are all moments that make up like the start of like the post All In thing, and it's happening in this building. And if you get this building over, it will become more valuable for you. And then like you turn it into a like a premium destination, a hot spot, if you will. Like, be like, man, I want to go to the Aragon Ballroom, even though it's $1,200. You know what that's going to do? That's going to make them be able to sell the tickets for probably even more next time. Like, not now as a fan, do I actually want to pay more money? No, but I'm telling you, this is the mindset of the company. Like, this is like what they're thinking. They're like, yo, if we get this thing over, either we can be here or we can be at Wintrust or we can be at United Center the next time we come. Like, that's what they're trying to build almost from a grassroots level again.
Yeah. And like, how long is his residency for? It's
3 weeks. They're doing 3 Dynamites and 3 Collisions.
Yeah, and it's not, and they've done that with Collision before in Texas. Like they've done this in different places. I'm fine with it. I'm fine with it.
Yeah.
Like I remember, we talked about this. Like when another example. Like when they went to the Nashville Coliseum or whatever else, right? When it was Omega and it was Osprey, and they did those dives off the thing, and I was like, my first thought was seeing it was like, I haven't seen this building like except for like freaking CrossFit semifinals a year ago. Mm-hmm. Like it's a distinct looking building. It's cool.
I didn't feel like doing a full review, so I just kind of want to talk about it quickly there. But
that works.
Looking at it, like I like the show. I thought the Tony Storm and Thecla thing is interesting. Kazuchika Okada and Swerve possibly going at each other. I don't know where that's going to lead or anything like that. And they've got a lot of stuff going on. The Young Bucks thing, I think, kind of stole the show as far as like just everyone talking about it, like their new gimmick and all that.
Who did they I guess Tron graphics.
Tron.
Was it Orange Cassidy that did that shit? Like the least amount of effort. God damn.
Yeah. They're poor now, apparently. They're trying to use the company card and it's not working. And,
overnight poor. The story of pro wrestling. Damn.
Pulling up in Ubers.
Yeah.
Look, part of me thinks they're making fun of somebody that may or may not be broke.
Interesting.
So that's just me.
That's
just me.
Are they gonna start?
That's just me being messy.
Start hitting on talent.
Are they going to start giving out gift cards?
Ooh. Wait, someone did.
I mean,
did someone do a gift card before?
They did it. They did it as heels or whatever.
These niggas
but
nasty.
Are they going?
These niggas nasty.
Are they going to have to do it to try to like get in people's good graces now?
Ooh, boy.
They had to look like Wasabi King. They had to get their own transportation to the event.
Yeah, here we go.
I'm just being nasty, but what if it's true? Love to see it. You love to see it. Oh man. Yeah, man.
Like we're gonna bring BTE to Dynamite because we can't do BTE no more because folks got their feelings hurt, and they just CM Punk got their feelings hurt. Everybody got their feelings hurt apparently.
Oh, got their booty holes tight. But yeah, man. So let's talk about this NBA 100 list and all the kind of bullshit within it. Obviously, it's like where to begin. Obviously, I think people have talked about this thing for the last week.
I was unaware this even happened. And you told me about it. Did you tell me what was it? Saturday or Sunday? You told me about this. I had no idea.
It was yesterday. I think it was just Sunday. Yeah. Sunday. Yeah.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
So let me get to the list you said. All right, I'm at it now. So if anything comes over the stream, let me know. Because I have it minimized right now on my phone. All right, so you tell me where you want to start. So the floor is yours. Go ahead.
Yeah. So fuck. Like you can just go. So like,
do we need to do like a what do you call it? A primer for people that aren't aware of this.
Yes.
All right. So from what I can tell, this is Bleacher Report's list of the 100 greatest basketball players of all time. Now, every year, places like ESPN.com, other places have lists like this. If I remember correctly, didn't David Aldridge and someone else make a book that you bought last year that was similar to this? Yep. Yeah. But this is by Bleacher Report from their staff, and they basically got different staffers together. They made their list. They tabulated the numbers, whatever else, and they came up with like median ranking or whatever numbers spit out their ranking order or whatever else. And then people obviously were upset at certain topics because these list hours are meant to generate conversation / show people and get attention for clicks. So every time you make a list from any publication, there's no right answer for any of this, and people are always gonna be mad because people always think you're not taking account for their people are always gonna fight for their favorites with these lists. So whenever it's top albums of all time for Rolling Stone and or lists like this, you're always gonna be, even if there's something more easily to judge objectively compared to music, you're always gonna have people you're always going to make this list generate people being mad at you. These lists are always for people to get mad. So that being said, we're going to talk about how this list made us mad. So here we go. Rich, you start this off because you brought this to my attention. And when you told me what brought you attention, I was like, you know what? You're right. I know sometimes you be trying to float things. You be like, James, am I tripping? No, you're right. Go.
Kobe Bryant is being number 11 is an outright tragic, disgusting demonstration of hate, of just absolutely disgusting. There's no way to generate this. There's no way to come out here and say, yeah, I think they did a good job with this. One, they're trying to troll. All right, slash size in the ring, correct ring. We will silence your ass tonight. I have the mic, sir. I just, I saw that they fucked this up so much, James. They had to come out with a second article that says why Kobe Bryant isn't a top 10 player in BR's all-time NBA rankings. And then they proceeded to start judging Kobe Bryant on all types of may or may not criteria, or ridiculous shit where it came out that someone ranked him as low as 18 on their list. Yeah. I want that person's home address and social security number and put it on the timeline, and we need to communicate. Well, not me. Just those like me. I
think the thing for me that, obviously, we all in our minds have our I'm not necessarily setting concrete for these people are absolutely this number or this or whatever else, but I'm aware of where people in their general standing belong based off all the other lists I've seen from different places, right? And also my beliefs on, I saw this player, I know how good they were, or I have my bias, I'm a human, but I can put my bias aside and be like, I know where person X, Y, or Z belongs as far as the stratosphere, right? There is no argument you can make from accolades to what you saw with your own two eyes to come up with an idea that Kobe Bryant was not one of the 10 greatest basketball players of all time. Now, if you want to argue that, if you're one of those people that think he's one of the top 3, compared to 11, I'd rather him be 3 than 11 in the top 3 than outside the top 10. I think that's more wrong, him being outside the top 10 than being in the top 3. So
I think this has radicalized me to be like, because there were other people I'd be like, whatever. I just wouldn't even think about it. But then I'm like, hold up, let's lift the hood up on some of these folks, because it keeps coming back with Kobe Bryant being judged in a way that nobody else is.
No, but the judgment is, hey, when you were 18 through 24, you played with Shaquille O'Neal. And it's like, okay.
You weren't better than Shaquille. Every single person above them would have been the same role.
Right. At that age.
Absolutely.
Which is why I said it like that. From age 18 through 24, you were teammates with Shaquille O'Neal, and therefore we penalize you, but never give you credit for being a 1B to Shaquille O'Neal's 1A on the Rock to 3 championships. And then after the part where you were flat out better as a basketball player after 24 through 27, where you were averaging 35 in one season. He never got in that era where the scoring pace was super low. People weren't shooting threes.
But with no help, no spacing.
With no spacing because he jettisoned Shaq out of there and he had bad teammates. And he was so fucking good that me as a fan at the time was upset that Kobe threw that away, the Shaq and Kobe teammate pairing that I love so much. I was mad at Kobe for a long time. But by the time you get to 2006, he was so fucking awesome. He outplayed the criticism. So for me...
He had to throw it away because he predicted what they would judge him on in real time and outplayed it, and they still fucking did it anyway.
Right. But I'm not... that's also looking in retrospect from players around him in the league at the time. I'm just a fan watching. I'm just a fan that grew up idolizing these two and being upset that they broke up my favorite pairing at the time. My favorite NBA pairing of all time at that time, right? or still, and being like, okay, so he threw away like the team. He threw away the pairing that I most actually was like I enjoyed the most watching ever, and he outplayed it. So it's like the part where he doesn't get enough credit. He never got enough credit for being that good in during the dynasty. He never got enough credit for he blew it up, but he may be the best fucking basketball player in the world post that happening. And then like it was almost like he won the 2 titles. And people were like, you know what? We made him eat shit for 8 years. So now 09 and 010 will finally give him the attaboy pat on the back. And now that we're past like the part where we made him eat shit for those 8 years from 2000, or from like 99 or 2000 to 2008 to he wins 2 titles. People will finally validate him and be like, you know what? He overcame a lot of shit y'all gave him. Like, people are now, in retrospect, going back now that it's been 15 years past this, are now we're going back to it's 2007, 2005. And it's like, wait, that's not how narratives work. That's not how narratives work of, you build people up and you break them down or whatever else, and then in order to build them back up. Now we're breaking it down and he's fucking dead. What?
It's like, all they had to do was give this guy a person at the time who was a one-time All-Star, and he probably whooped the Western Conference, the toughest Western Conference of all time, whooped their ass for 3 consecutive years with a 3 straight finals, won 2 belts with them. Nobody else on this list has played with less than he did doing that shit. 50-win teams in the first round, like beat more 50-win teams ever. 70% of the playoff teams he ever played won 50 games in the West. Like,
so
I don't know, man. Magic and Kareem played together in harmony their entire careers with James Worthy, with all these people in an inferior conference. Yeah, it's all good. We ain't never going to talk about it. Tim Duncan gets drafted with David Robinson and then rolls up and plays with at least 3 other Hall of Famers on his way to those championships, not always being the best player on the team. Are we ever talking about it? Never. We're never bringing that up. I saw both of them in real time. Kobe Bryant used to regularly bend Tim Duncan and the San Antonio Spurs over his knee from the time he was 22 years old up until 2008. 5 times they played in the playoffs. Kobe won 4 of those matchups against Tim Duncan. What are we doing? We know statistically he doesn't measure up. And also, defense never matters when it comes to Kobe Bryant, ever. Because we don't ever try to relitigate anybody else's all-defensive teams, anybody else's, accomplishments in that area. But yet, if defense is half of the game, we are doing things like putting Steph Curry above Kobe Bryant. I'm sorry, this is fucking ridiculous. Like, this is an insult, and this is like, I don't know, man. Larry Bird, should we do him next? Like, we was talking about, he was scoring 13 points a game in NBA Finals series and stuff like that, uninjured.
Are you talking about 81?
Yes.
Okay.
Like, I'm sorry, like.
Who won Finals MVP that year? Was it Nate Archibald?
Cedric Maxwell.
Okay, that's right. All right. But Nate Archibald was on that team, right?
I believe he was.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah.
As an old man.
Right.
But every single person is ranked in front of him. Like, I'm sorry, Bill Russell's not better than Kobe Bryant. Like, I don't like he didn't score 20 points a game in the 1960s, and he had 10 Hall of Fame teammates. So, what the fuck are we doing?
So for me, right, like, and that's the thing that when it comes to before my time, different era, comparing eras is very hard. It obviously is. So what you look for is how do these people stand out compared to the era they played in, and like, so I can respect, Larry Bird was better than Magic Johnson for like the 12 years they played until his back went out. For the most part, most people would agree he was a better player. So I'm okay with Bird 9-year run, like putting him next to Magic, but Magic basically had 12 years of excellence. So I'm okay with them being paired together and put next to each other. The same way people like kind of like handcuff like Jerry West and Oscar Robertson, people, and also like people like Charles Barkley and and Karl Malone, where it's like these people were contemporaries, and it's so close that like you can pick whoever you want. Now, when some of these is like, if you pick the one that I'm not picking, I'm gonna look at you like I'm not gonna have much of an opinion for your basketball opinion, right? But I can respect it based off of accolades, whatever else, across in whatever particular era. So the problem for me is I can recognize that Kobe Bryant was more athletically gifted, was more skilled than Magic Johnson or Larry Bird on both sides of the ball. I can respect that you're putting Larry Bird and Magic Johnson in front of them because at worst, you're always going to get in the playoffs with either one of them. And then the bottom is the dam breaks where Kobe blows it up, so you miss the playoffs 1 year. So you're just like, all right, whatever. But there's also the context of the times have changed, and like the way we optimize teams and like parity in the league is like there now, right? We're like, you go and you can see where historically Bill Russell won 11 titles in 13 years. Then Kareem is the next best player after that, if you will. He wins 6 titles. Then the next best player after that is Magic Johnson. He wins 5 with Larry Bird winning 3 in that era, right? Then the league gets expansion teams in it, and then Jordan wins 6 and 8 years. And then Jordan retires, and then you have Tim Duncan, Shaquille O'Neal, and Shaq together in the league at the same time, and Kobe and Duncan both win 5. And then you move on, and like LeBron and Steph Curry win 4. You get what I'm saying? Like the way we've optimized these teams and with the way that we've done salary cap restrictions and whatever else, the amount of winning people are going to do is going to get lesser and lesser. Like Jokic has been the best basketball player in the world since 2021. He has one. He might win another. He's not winning 4 titles. He's not winning 3 titles. Are we going to look back with him with, he might possibly win 2 more MVPs at the rate this goes, whatever else, would be like, you know what? He only won 2 titles, so therefore we're going to put him behind some of these people that he has like twice as many MVPs as. That's dumb. Because it's not like he's getting to the playoffs and he's not performing well. He still has his number. He still does what he does in the playoffs compared to the regular season. There's no drop off.
Statistically, he's going to blow like all these like if you just lay him and Tim Duncan stats down on paper, he's going to fucking destroy. He's going to destroy Tim Duncan.
Yeah.
Like, so it's like what they do. I didn't even get to the worst part of this yet, of this top 10, 11. Shaquille O'Neal is number 6.
Right.
Over Tim Duncan, Larry Bird, Wilt Chamberlain, Steph, and Kobe.
Now, tell me, explain to me how the biggest like knock against Shaq when it comes to his historical ranking is he got swept 6 times. So this nigga played.
That's crazy.
So this nigga played with the 11th best player of all time and got swept what, twice? 3 times? Twice or 3 times?
Got swept in 99 with the Lakers.
98 too, right?
98. Yep, 98.
So he got swept twice.
Got swept in 96 by the Bulls.
Well, I'm talking about
while he had Penny.
I'm saying with Shaq. I'm sorry, with Kobe is what I mean. Right?
He got swept twice in 98 and 99.
So he's playing with the 11th greatest basketball player of all time, and he got swept twice. Why is he 6? Why is a guy that got swept 6 times in his prime number 6? That makes no sense. Why is a guy that didn't play to his potential? The only thing you have is, when he wanted to play at his best, nobody can stop him, but he only wanted to play his best, even 20% of the time?
Look, man, if you're the person in the finals is guarding you was Rick Smits and Jason Collins, you better fucking do work. Like
now, don't get me wrong. I am sympathetic towards Shaq because they completely officiated. Completely changed the way how they officiate in the post based off of Shaq. If they had if Shaq got the whistle that guys like Kareem had gotten, he would have averaged 45 points a game. He would have fouled every single motherfucker that was over 6'10" out in every single game. I'm aware of that. However, what we saw is what we saw, and what he dealt with is what he dealt with, and what the outcome was the outcomes. And the outcomes was he had glaring holes in his game. If his game would not have translated in the future, he would have gotten worse over time. Like what I mean, like the time machine game, you know, like if you get rid of the time machine and you put him out here and he won out here guarding Tony Parker out to 15 feet, what do you think he's going to do in a deep drop against these NBA guards now?
Like Bibby used to be giving Shaq hell.
No, and I'm talking about defense. Look, Shaq would have been still the incredible, unstoppable force he would have been on offense. But defensively, he would have given up just as much. The way people talk about Jokic, we've been talking about Shaq. As far as he ain't guarding nobody.
Yep. And I don't know, man. Looking further down this thing, like I think the Jordan, LeBron, Kobe thing is a separate discussion from all this. I felt like that is like, you put that aside. Those are their own arguments. We'll do that another time. But this is like, so we don't talk about Kareem Abdul-Jabbar winning one championship and looking like he would never win one again until Magic Johnson showed up. We don't do that when he's winning the MVP in the playoff and not making the playoffs in the season. Like, some of that shit don't make sense that they did. It's just history, so it was written, but we don't ever think about that shit. Meanwhile, they didn't want to give Kobe Bryant an MVP in 2006. Like, all right. But Jerry West falls all the way down to 15 behind Oscar Robertson, which I don't love. Durant's at 13. Durant's a tough one, man.
Durant's a tough one because it's like, hey, man, what years are you actually picking Steph Curry in a vacuum over Durant? And it's not going to be most of the years of Steph Curry's career. So that's why it's tough when it comes to this. Like, he has the 2 titles. It's also like, hey man, Durant had some bad luck. He's had some bad injury stuff, like, or whatever else. It's really weird to do it with Durant. But like, I still think he still has some stuff he can add on or whatever, which is weird because he's my age. He's my age. And I still think he can add some stuff with his Houston team. So, yeah. I would handcuff Steph and Durant together. I would always have them tied together historically. Like, I would have Magic Johnson and Larry Bird handcuffed together historically. I'd have, Shaq and Hakeem handcuffed together. I'd have Barkley, as you mentioned, Barkley and Karl Malone handcuffed together. I'd have Durant and Steph handcuffed together. I'm trying to think who else would I have handcuffed together in that way. But those are the people that I'd be like, you gotta have them next to each other. Like, right? There can't be anybody between them. They were too close historically, and it's always weird. So, that's how I'd have it. But like, I don't know where you know, as far as wherever you rank them, but they gotta be handcuffed together because like their careers are too similar. But I would honestly, like, when I was doing this, I would just have Duncan and Kobe handcuffed together, always. I just do that to make it simple. I don't have to, because it's splitting hairs. It's splitting hairs as far as, like, accomplishment versus, you know, who was the better who's more skilled. Obviously, Kobe, who had more success. Duncan always won 50 games. Kobe had Shaq. Duncan happened to beat him that one time. Like, it's just, and they both won 5 titles and all that kind of stuff. Duncan happened to win two MVPs. Kobe should have 2 MVPs. He has 1. It's, you know, it's like that for me.
Yeah.
But him not being, but I'm not doing this. Steph Curry has a better career or better basketball player than Kobe Bryant. I'm never doing that. No. Like, I said this to you when we were having this conversation, like, Kobe Bryant had to shoot 27 times a game to get that 35 points back then or whatever else. Like, Steph Curry physically could not play a whole NBA 82 game schedule, shooting get up 27 shots a game. The amount of energy and wear and tear would take on his body for him to get up 27 of his shots, he wouldn't make it. He would break down before we even got the All-Star game. Like, we're not talking about the same thing. Kobe Bryant was a whole different level of athlete than Steph Curry. It's not even, no. Like, so I understand that, like, in their peak years or whatever else, their numbers are comparable, but it's like, yeah, they're comparable offensively. Kobe Bryant was one of the better defenders ever. Steph Curry was out here getting picked on. They lost 2016 finals because they was taking turns off, because LeBron and Kyrie Irving were taking turns off his ass. No.
Yeah. Like, it's, I think just looking elsewhere on this list, Dwayne Wade at 23 is pretty interesting. I kind of struggle with Wade because I feel like the injuries did a lot to his career. We saw what he looked like at his very, at the peak of his career. Then, of course, like he kind of did the second banana thing. I don't know, man. Like, cause like the best of that guy was really fucking great. And then I just struggle to feel like he's that high. If that makes sense.
So where is he? So here's the thing that's hard with when it comes to evaluating him. The shooting guards that are going to be high on the list after him. If you have a game for your life, you're going to trust him over some of these guys, right? Like, you want to compare the resume between James Harden and Dwayne Wade, or some young niggas going to see like, yeah, he's clearly better than Dwayne Wade. I'm gonna say, you know what? In the regular season, you're probably absolutely right? Now, I will say this: there was never any point while Harden was finishing top 2 in MVP year in, year out for half a decade, anyone ever thought or anyone ever fixed their mouth to say to me, you know what? That's the best basketball player in the league. No one ever dared say that he was better than Steph Curry, LeBron James, or Kevin Durant while that was happening. While he was racking up top 2 MVP finishes over and over and over and over again, right? But when it turned into that third weekend of April into May, every single time, bad things happened when it came to James Harden. And
Jim Harden, he turns to Jim Harden, in April.
So, and one thing you can't say, one thing you can say. Look, man, I saw those 2010s Rockets teams, and I saw some of those post-Shaq, pre-LeBron Miami Heat teams. Look, what Dwayne Wade was carrying bullshit, and he would get to the playoffs, and he was giving niggas everything but getting past. Like that 2010? Yeah, 2010. That first round against the Eastern Conference finalists, the Celtics, he took them to 7, didn't he? No, he didn't take them 7.
I think they only went to 5.
But he averaged over 30 easily. He was great. Yeah. Just the team sucked. The team sucked, and in the playoffs, he was always great when he was healthy and in his prime. There was no ever, he let them down in the playoffs year. That never happened when he was healthy and in his prime. Now, when he got older and his knees, when he started aging like a dog, that's different. But I saw that dude coming off that 08 Olympics in 2009, 2010, and on any given night, you did not know you did not know for sure who was the best basketball player in the world between him, Kobe Bryant, or LeBron James. You could have never said that about James Harden. So I ain't trying to hear it. When it comes to, the people who want to put James Harden over him, and like, if you want to get into it as well, right? There's no reason to put, when you look at resumes, there's no reason to put Kawhi Leonard in front of James Harden, except for I saw the playoffs. So I saw the playoffs. Kawhi Leonard is above James Harden. I'm sorry. I don't give a damn how many games he's missed.
Yeah. Who else? I feel like John Havlicek is kind of low for historically.
Yep.
The amount of winning that he did.
7 or 8 titles. Which one was it? 7 or 8?
Yeah, I think he won 7 championships. And basically like was scoring all them points in the 60s and making like, clutch plays, and then doing it in the 70s as he was the man defender. And a good defender. Yeah. I think Havlicek should get a little bit more love there. Yeah. Like, here I am advocating for a Celtic, so I can't say I'm impartial.
Well, you did just shit on Bill Russell's legacy, so you gotta kind of make
that's true. I mean,
I'm just saying. I'm saying, like,
look, where is Sam Jones? Sam Jones all the way down at 85, but Bill Russell just by himself at 5. That damn great. You know what that reminds me of? Outkast, the greatest rap group ever. It's just Andre 3000 all by itself. But what about Big Boy? Never mind all that. This is Andre 3000. This Bill Russell. Like that's what that shit sounds like.
Here's my question, right? How often people have shat on Wilt Chamberlain as being a loser, right? We just talking about these 60 Celtics. Hey man. In that top 100, how many of them Warriors and Sixers are teammates of Wilt Chamberlain is there on this list?
I see Hal Greer on there.
Anybody else?
I see Jerry West.
No, not Lakers. Not Lakers. I'm talking about when Wilt Chamberlain was out here going and losing before the finals to Bill Russell. That's what I mean.
I think it's gonna just be Hal Greer on there.
Oh, okay. Such a fucking loser. It might just be that he's playing with John Havlicek and shit. It might just be that. It might just be that he's playing with you know what I'm saying? Like it's interesting how to do this.
I think he played with Billy Cunningham too.
He did
in the Sixers, but not on this list as you mentioned.
Right.
I see Pau Gasol all the way down there at number 62, so that's interesting. I think Joel Embiid's way too high at 66. I
think he's way too low. You want to know why I say he's way too low?
Why?
Look who's directly in front of him.
Vince Carter.
I'm sorry, I saw both of their primes. At what point was Vince Carter ever even close to the level of perennial MVP candidate that Embiid was for half a decade? I'm sorry, did I miss something here?
Yeah.
Vince on there for compiling. Oh, I played 20 years. All right, cool.
Played 20 years, best dunker, very photogenic as a basketball player, I'd say.
Cool.
Style-wise, Bill Walton's way too high at 55. I love Bill Walton. Thought he was great. It's only a couple years. Come on, y'all. Like, interesting. Klay Thompson is way too low. Like, they did way too much winning for him to be at number 98. Nah.
My question is, how is he below Draymond Green? What?
I have no fucking idea, bro.
I saw them play together for a decade. Or almost a decade. You get my point. Like, that's absurd.
Tony Parker feels kind of low. Just saying, 86.
Especially as good as Tony Parker had gotten and was. He at one point by the time we got to 2012, he was the best player on the Spurs. Like that, like he was the best player on that Spurs team.
No one thinks about this. No one ever thinks about this, James. Clyde Drexler at 39 feels very high. You telling me he's better than Russell Westbrook?
Not in my list. like Mark Jackson. Not in my locker room. Not on my list. No. Yeah. I'm not putting Clyde Drexler nowhere in my top 40. You got me. Hell no. Absolutely
I'm getting
not.
asked, is Manu on the list? Manu is on the list, but I feel like he was way too low. He was another on my way too low list. Manu Ginobili was number 75 on here. Look, man. You give me if you telling me who the fuck I have to face, who I want to go against Manu Ginobili
or Clyde Drexler?
I'm gonna just say it. Manu Ginobili. Hold on. Manu Ginobili or James Harden? I'm taking Manu Ginobili. I'm taking Manu Ginobili. This nigga terrified.
Playoff games, fair enough.
This nigga is responsible single-handedly for the deconstruction of USA basketball. That nigga's got to go way the fuck up there. I'm sorry. I know he's a six man. His career doesn't make no fucking sense because of that. But that nigga was that nigga, bro.
That nigga was a terrorist.
Manu Ginobili was that. He was a terrorist.
I remember before, like Wade. Remember that stretch of time where like Wade wasn't healthy. It was like people were asking like, "Hey, is he as good as Dwayne? Is he better than Dwayne Wade?" And I was like, no, but the part where it's like, I didn't feel like it was like, get the fuck out of here for even suggesting. I was like, just no. Like, he was a pick your spots all-star. Or I'm sorry, he was on Mount Olympus of pick your spots. Like, it was really nasty what he was doing on those like mid-2000s Spurs teams. He was like, Duncan was still the guy, but like from the perimeter, it was him over Tony Parker. Tony Parker hadn't taken the reins yet.
That nigga was closing finals games. Like,
yeah.
Like he was a cold dude.
Yeah.
Heartless. Look, the long hair Manu. Oh my God.
Yeah. I think people forgot because like, he aged poorly too. Right. So
look,
like
why? Because he was an athlete. Like, and it didn't look, he didn't look like he came in that package. But no, that nigga will bang on your ass.
Absolutely.
the wrong way.
Like Manu and Ray and like Miami Heat, Ray Allen were two guys like, or prime Manu and like Miami Heat, Ray Allen were two guys who was like, you just weren't expecting him to come dunk on you. And then all of a sudden he's on your ass and he's just attacking the rim.
Prime Ray Allen. Yeah. I know what you mean. Prime Ray Allen.
No. Oh, remember those like finals runs? Like Ray Allen had a couple dunks in them runs, in them Heat runs.
I forgot.
Yeah. And he was like, wait, what? You were just shocked. The one that I told you about that pissed me off. Luka's way too low.
At
you
57,
can't be first. You can't win you can't be first team All NBA 5 straight years, half a fucking decade, and be placed only at 57.
Start your career. And you've gone to the finals before.
Made another. And that wasn't your first Final Four that he made. Like, it's ridiculous. Like, I'm sorry. Like, he's had one of the like 15 greatest offensive starts of a career in NBA history. And I'm probably underselling. It's probably dozen. It's probably 10, not just 15. I'm being very conservative with it. Like, nah, man. Like, next year, if he comes out here, he's first team All NBA and he wins a scoring title, people will be like, oh, back to regular schedule programming.
That's what it feels like is going to happen, too.
Right. But Nico Harrison wanted him to go out there and fucking tear his Achilles.
Grant Hill being at 79 is absurd. It's just the way his career played out. No, he shouldn't even be in the top 100. Like,
well, yeah. But it's a. He played for a long time, even after his prime got robbed of him.
Hmm.
So there's also that. So the people remember, like, when he was a Piston, he was fucking awesome.
Yeah. Yeah. I had brought up, why wouldn't Yao Ming be on this list?
He has an argument. I talked to you about this one too, and I'm talking about the historical pairing of people, right? Paul George and Jimmy Butler at the end of this list in the 80s, or 79. Paul George is 78 and Jimmy Butler is 83. Hey man, you ever heard of the postseason? Niggas? Like, Jimmy Butler took 2 undermanned teams to the finals. I saw that dude go toe-to-toe with an all-time LeBron James game and beat it. Game 5 of the 2020 NBA Finals. That was one of the greatest back and forths we've ever seen. Jimmy Butler beat him in that game. Now, LeBron won the war because by the time he got to Game 6, LeBron had cooked it, or Jimmy Butler had nothing left in the gas tank, and they won. But my point still stands.
Well, the Miami Heat niggas was dropping like flies, like by the time the finals came.
Yeah. And also, AD was kicking Bam's ass up and down the floor in that series. Oh my goodness. But still, my point is, there's a such thing as playoff Jimmy. But when we talk about playoff P, that's a joke. We talk about how that's a joke. We laugh at that. They even brought that up.
Last night I said, let my old head tendencies speak. Bob McAdoo at 61 is somehow low. Victim in the 70s. I just think the 70s sucks. Like, it's just like,
because all them, like, the 2 leagues,
ABA,
2 leagues and
cocaine.
Drugs.
ABA, cocaine, tragic injuries.
Them trying to, the league turning blacker and blacker, and white people not wanting that. That is perception. It hurts.
Yeah. No consistent champions. Like, Celtics got 2.
That's what hurt in this era. But these guys aren't on drugs like that.
it's going to be really interesting to reevaluate, like, because I saw like a clip of like the Bucks Suns finals the other day on Twitter, and I was
it
like,
seems like a fever dream, don't it?
I was like, this feels so long ago. Like, just like the way the league has just turned over that much, where it's like, oh my fucking God. Like the Suns, like you see how they're blowing the shit up right now. Yeah. Like, and you see what the Bucks look like.
Right.
And it's just like we're gonna have no idea how to be like, we're just gonna be like, fuck. The second April just destroyed every fucking team that we thought was good.
Right.
At any time, and overall made the sport worse.
Right. So
and tougher to evaluate historically.
So look at Giannis. Giannis is 24. Giannis.
That seems like
ridiculous.
That seems like a completely dopey rating. That is like, oh, we're just gonna throw a dart, and wherever he lands, we'll just put him there. I
don't care that he played like 18 years and he never got hurt, and he always was 20. He always was 25 and 12. I don't give a fuck. Or 20 years. I don't give a fuck. Giannis Antetokounmpo
is better
basketball player than Karl Malone.
Correct.
I saw him close out the finals with a 50-piece.
I saw Karl Malone close out a finals by falling on the ground and handing the ball to Michael Jordan, James. That's how I saw Karl Malone close out an NBA finals.
Like, nah, man. Like, I'm sorry. He's a Giannis, and you know, Jokic is already at 17, but like, nah, man. Giannis and Jokic are both inside the top 20 all time basketball players. They're both in the teens right now. They're both in the teens. Like, Jokic is in front of him, but you get my point. Like, like you are shortchanging what you are short. Like, for a list that seems like they favor peaks over longevity in certain spots, except for outliers like Grant Hill and Vince Carter. Like, it seems like they just said, you know, Jokic and what Giannis and Jokic did. Like, nah, we y'all got to add 2 more years of this on. It's like, wait. Like their prime or their peak years or in runs are as you know, strong as these guys that are in front of him. In some cases, stronger. Like, so, like, nah, man, I'm not buying the. I know what's called said this. Mad Dog Russo on the show on First Take. He said that stupid shit. Said like, no, oh my God, it's not even a comparison between Dr. J and Giannis. I was like, you're right. Giannis has had a way better career than him. A way better career. You know who couldn't win a fucking finals without Moses Malone? You know who could? Giannis did. He didn't need a fucking MVP to come in to win him his title as the second best player on that team.
That's funny. There's a lot of Dr. J, Steph Curry comparisons with like Kevin Durant and Moses Malone. Like, if you think about, like, you know, this MVP caliber player comes in, the beloved person in the town, there's just this gentleman that everybody loves. Everybody loves Dr. J. Everybody loves Steph Curry. It'll always be their team, but, you know, there's something there, I think.
There's parallels there, definitely in that comparison. The problem is Steph Curry held up his end of the bargain way better than Dr. J did. so there's that. There's that. Like in this position, like it'd be like Moses left, right? He left again, and then the Sixers won another title.
Yeah.
2022 happened.
Yeah. It's interesting, man. Like, cause like I don't know, I never had a reason to see Steph Curry as the quote unquote enemy of Kobe or anything. It's because it's like one.
They're not even. They're both guards. That's where the comparison stops.
Yeah, like that's pretty much it. So it's like I never really had a reason to like tear down his career or anything. But like just when you it would have never even crossed my mind to be like, oh yeah, he's better than Kobe. Fuck no.
And yeah, I know you always talk about this as far as like the opposite or like the fan bases or whatever else. Hey man, that Kobe fan base, they love them some Steph Curry. The Warriors helped keep that nigga LeBron from winning more titles for a long time. So it's like keep up the good work, Steph Curry.
Keep up the good work.
Right. So now all of a sudden this list come up and be like, hey, hold on. Hey, you know, fuck Steph Curry. Like it's really weird. It's really weird. Yeah.
Hey,
Yeah.
and that brings it back to that thing I told you about with Bleacher Report and like the dark forces behind this list and who may be responsible doing what, so like, it's interesting, man. There's a lot of investments tied up in LeBron James led companies that lead the Bleacher Report, which I don't know.
Really?
What's going on here. Yeah, like there's a whole thing here that is dark forces at play. So,
But my thing is, I there could be something to that, but I don't know why that would affect Kobe Bryant, but not affect LeBron, because LeBron's still second on his list.
I think, you got to be able to throw the sun off a little bit and work it from like different angles or whatever. It's like, you just want to come out and just say, all right, he's over fucking Jordan, right?
Hey,
we'll save that. We'll do that another time. Like we'll save that for Nick Wright and we'll let them do that on their end. But on
That's
this
one, right?
we're gonna turn, like, just like how I think LeBron secretly came to the Lakers to try to court the Kobe Bryant fan base. Like, in a way, if you can start making Curry and Kobe compete against each other historically, whatever, that just allows you to just slip out the back door and be like, oh, I don't have to deal with none of them or whatever.
I think what you just said about he was trying to court the Kobe Bryant fan base, I think that's absolutely true. But the thing is, what he didn't anticipate was that I don't think he was trying to court the Kobe Bryant fan base. I think he was trying to court the Laker fan base, right? Like, so for example, the reason why so many people were pissed off, and I talked to you before, off air, the reason why people pissed off about the decision was because it went directly in opposition to all these other major fan bases, right? The Knicks thought they were going to get him. They never got him. So it was like, so New York was like, fuck him. Chicago thought they were going to get him. So they were like, so Bulls fans were like, fuck him. Immediately made it harder for Boston and all Boston media in Bristol, Connecticut, in that media market it made it harder for them to possibly win an extra title. So fuck him. And then it pissed off Lakers fans / Kobe fans because that team is now going to be in the way of the Lakers and Kobe and Pau Gasol and Omar Odom. So it was like the major fan base in the sport were all pissed off by a decision of him going to Miami. So now flash forward, he goes back to Cleveland. That gets the national media that has no investment in it off his back or whatever else, that were upset, basically looking around at all these other major fan bases being upset. And so he wins the title. They're like, that's, came back 3-0, this huge thing, whatever else. He beat the 7-3 win team, whatever. Now he goes to the Lakers, like, he was trying to court, he did try to court that fan base. And I think he did it successfully. But I think what he didn't expect was there are Lakers fans and there are Kobe Bryant fans, and I don't think he necessarily understood that or thought that, like, over time he would win them over. That was never, he didn't, I don't think he accounted for the part where that was never happening. That's what I think happened. Like,
yeah.
So he didn't think that what do you call it? What does Tony Khan call the super fans? He say he books for them, the freaks,
the sickos.
He didn't account for there being Lakers sickos, and there's a lot of sickos. So it is what it is.
Look, them Laker fans that be in the 300 sections, like there's a different breed, bro. Like you just not gonna mean what Kobe did to them. Like it's just not gonna happen. Like
I don't think he expected that, but I think he thought like
I think a lot of I don't even think necessarily he thought it. I think the people that like follow him thought that, be like, oh, it's LeBron. And what niggas is like, so like.
I mean, obviously the internet is the internet, but like every day or every week I see something, I'm like, yo, they forget the like they begrudging respect or won them over. Is like, nah, it's like it was like, hey man, you had no business being a basketball player.
Showing up here.
You had no business being a basketball player that gave any opposition to Kobe Bryant. It's like, that's weird.
I mean,
it's like they
I'll
never
hear
played
him out.
the finals. It's weird. Like,
let's hear him out.
What are you doing with a career head-to-head record over 500 against Kobe Bryant? Fuck you forever. It's just funny. Like, and I think I told you recently, like when I was watching the when I was up there for your birthday and we were watching that, how hard the Yankees fans gave A-Rod shit. While, it's like a lot, I see, it's not apples and oranges, they didn't play together, but like I see a lot of the, you're just not Jeter. You're just not Jeter. And it's like, you can't win. He captured their imagination first. You can't recapture imagination. It don't work like that. Just don't.
Break, nigga. Like, it's always FUBU. But,
my favorite part is like when the Kobe fans be like, that bubble ring. They disregard. Look, they be out here. Look, get
that shit out of here.
You separate the LeBron discussion, right? And you get to the whole, like, you start talking, a Lakers fan talks to a Celtics fan, right? And they'll start talking about like them titles from before the Civil Rights Act and all that shit, right? And they talk about the numbers or whatever, right? And then all of a sudden they'll have those conversations talking to Celtics fans. And we'll count that 2020 title. But then it gets to talk about, but then once it gets back to LeBron, it's like, no, that shit don't count.
No, that shit fake. Your title fake. Look, the Los Angeles Lakers organization won the championship. What's that old quote? Organizations win championships?
Oh yeah. What's your boy name?
Jerry Krause.
Jerry Krause, yeah.
That's an easy one to explain.
Boy.
Yeah. That's funny as fuck. But oh man, up Jordan on top. What do you say? Like it's real hard to just leap over that guy, bro. Hey, man. Like it's just
LeBron James had the greatest basketball career of all time, no question. If they gave me my list, you know what I would have put? You know what I would have ranked it?
What?
I still have Jordan number one.
The fuck?
I just said to you, LeBron James is the only person I think with like 20,000 points, 20,000 career points, 10,000 career assists, 10,000 career rebounds. He's also in that same list when you add those same rebounds and assists for 30,000 and now 40,000. That greatest career ever. I still don't think at his peak he was better than what I saw out of Jordan as far as dominance. I was a kid. I'm aware of the expansion stuff, the diluted talent, all that stuff. The guys, the back crop of late 80s drafts, like making it to where like there were no All-Stars that should have came up and been, combatants to that.
Challengers.
Yeah, I get all that. I grew up in the propaganda. Do I need to go buy me the Michael Jordan Wings poster? Do I need to go do that? Do I need to go buy me an Air Jordan poster? Sorry.
I'll say this, Mike and Jordan fans and stuff like that. Wish Kobe Bryant got to play in the 90s. I wish Kobe Bryant got to go against them niggas on the wing that he got to go against. Stuff I've been saying my whole life, but now we want to realize the difference of who is going against who. Like let's think about all the great shooting guards of all time. How many of them did Michael Jordan play against?
Drexler. And it's Drexler. Right.
Meanwhile, on the wing,
Vince Carter, Ray Allen. Yeah.
This who Kobe Bryant going to war with every year for all NBA spots. Like, it's different in the 2000s, bro. It's different. I'm sorry, man.
And quite honestly, like, shooting guard was really weird because, like, as you mentioned, it was loaded, and then, like, by the time it got to the late 2000s, it was barren. Like, the early 2000s, it was loaded, and then you don't even throw T-Mac to that, too, because he was going between shooting guard and small forward as well. Yep. And then all of a sudden, like, T-Mac went down, Brandon Roy had his knees or whatever else, Ray Allen, he's older, like, and then all of a sudden, like, we were just waiting for his shooting guard to come into that spot that, like, like post Wade, post Kobe, and it ended up being Harden. And then Kawhi showed up, but like, you know, it was Harden was like, you know, as soon as he ended up in Houston, it's like, oh, that dude's getting them all NBA spots at guard.
Yeah.
And it was like, I think the first week of him in Houston, we were like, oh my God, he's making all NBA. I think we said that.
Yeah. But this nigga's the MVP candidate.
We didn't even think he was going to be that good. He just became a real MVP candidate. That's nuts. Boy, if Preston had this run, boy, they would have made documentaries on his ass in Oklahoma City, boy.
Like, this man's a grifter. This man had all this fucking talent, all these fucking draft picks, never fucking used them, never cashed in, never won.
Do you remember, you might not remember this, 2014, this is the year when, like, Ibaka gets hurt. Right? And, like, they play the Spurs and they lose, the Thunder. I mean, I remember you had a conversation like, bro, I don't think they're ever going to win. And then they, you know, the next year, I think it was the Westbrook injury. Or the second Westbrook injury. And then 16, that was their only year after that finals where, like, Westbrook, Ibaka, and Westbrook, Ibaka, and Durant were all healthy, and then they fucking blow a 3-1 series to the Warriors. And they never play together ever again. It's like, oh.
Never mind.
Yep.
Never mind. Yeah. Chris Bosh, shout out to him, number 71.
Yeah, some spots on these lists look like they're just like, we know these people need to be on this list, but we don't know where to put them, so we're just gonna group them all together. So, like, for example, you look at that spot of or that run of 37 through 44 of Bob Cousy, Bob Pettit, Clyde Drexler, Patrick Ewing, Rick Barry, George Gervin, Walt Frazier, and George Mikan. That screams to me, these people that need to be in these to be mentioned in this top 50, but we don't know where to put them. Let's throw them all together. Because there's a whole bunch of hodgepodge right there to me.
Interesting. Very interesting. Jason Kidd at 33. I feel like Kidd is like, I don't even know how to describe Jason Kidd anymore to people. Be like, yeah, this nigga was this 6'4" point guard, lightning fast, great defender, incredible passer, couldn't shoot a lick until he got old. Mm-hmm. And then it's like, and then you see his stats. His stats are like pedestrian when you look at him on paper or whatever. But it's like, he's 33, and then he wins a title as a role player when he's old.
But if you watch the games, you saw him dominate games without scoring. He's one of the rare guys to ever do it. And I mean really dominate. I don't mean that fake Rondo dominate shit. Like, actually dominate. So, here's one that's weird. A weird thought exercise, right? John Stockton, 29. Chris Paul, 30. Jason Kidd, 33. Steve Nash, 35. Gary Payton, 53. Hey, man, I saw Gary Payton, Jason Kidd, and John Stockton in the 90s, and I saw Gary Payton used to kick John Stockton's ass. What?
Stockton's a compiler, man.
He is. I also saw Gary Payton used to kick John Stockton's ass.
The final trips.
Isaiah Thomas only 2 spots ahead. Only person. Sorry, Isaiah Thomas. Scottie Pippen is one person between him and John Stockton. How do you think Isaiah Thomas feels about seeing John Stockton only being that close to him on an all-time list?
I imagine Isaiah Thomas is not happy about that, and Isaiah Thomas should be probably higher on this.
If John Stockton's only 2 behind him, yeah, sure. The real answer is John Stockton needs to be lower. That's the real answer.
Isn't he the all-time leader in assists by like a mile?
Oh yeah, no one's breaking that.
Yeah,
that's almost as unbreakable as like Wilt averaging 44 a season and then like LeBron's scoring record. Someone maybe will break that eventually, but it ain't gonna be nobody it won't be nobody soon. It's one of those.
Yeah. I think he's getting a lot of credit for that.
What are we gonna give him? But what about the credit of, like, we saw him and Malone go out in the postseason and have a losing record career wise? What about that part? See them get their ass kicked left and right until the West got super weak, and there were only people around.
I mean, they swept Kobe and Shaq and Nick Van Exel and what's his name, Eddie Jones. Who else did we?
Because they swept 20-year-old Kobe Bryant.
I don't even know if he was 20.
Right.
He might have still been 19.
Right.
Yeah, that's funny. Alonzo Mourning at 87. I feel like, bro,
I don't know what to do with
Alonzo.
Do
I don't know what to do with Alonzo.
Do you think he's won 100 great basketball players all time? I don't.
If I think about, all right, who's better between him or Yao Ming? That's an interesting one. It's like, all right, I know he contributed to, a championship team 2006, and he had a lot of great years before the kidney or whatever. And it's basically also, like 99 through 2000.
Right. But there's also this part, right? When you go to the resume and you see that he finished like top 3 in MVP voting one year, go look at where they put Shaq and then look at their numbers. The media fucked Shaq. Alonzo Mourning had no business being voted that high, and I'm sure that's doing a lot of the carrying in like his accolades area.
I meant 93 through 2000 before the kidney. Like Alonzo Mourning used to be like,
yeah, he was great.
Really good, really good.
Well, I don't say great. He was really good because who was great, like the guys in the 90s that were better than him at center, like Elijah Wan and Patrick Ewing and David Robinson. Like we're talking about, like that's what I'm saying. Like we're talking about like the fifth or sixth best center of the 90s / 2000s. And if you want to include Duncan in that, then like it goes even lower.
Because I feel like they're going to be. It's like, all right,
never played in the finals never played in the finals as a top guy, top dog.
It's like, all right, like what if we compared him to like Karl Anthony Towns or something like that?
I'll put him in front of Towns.
I'm like statistically, like I know this the eras and stuff like that. Like, but Towns' numbers are like he's going to Hall of Fame. Like I don't.
Oh yeah. For all the shit, but so let's talk about him and like him, whatever. Like, nah, that dude's a future Hall of Famer. He's had these 2 postseason runs back to back in 2 different conferences now. It's like, all right, man, I get it. Like, you can talk about what people are missing, but you're also forgetting to talk about what these people have. And that was a big part of like why we miss out on the Dirk stuff for so long. For a lot of people missing out on the Dirk stuff. I love Dirk, but my point, like people were calling him a loser was like, hey man, these teams aren't exactly built well around him. And then all of a sudden he goes crazy one year and beats Kobe, Durant, Westbrook, LeBron, Wade in one year. And now people got to be like, oh yeah, we kind of played him badly for most of his career.
I was pretty upset, Jen. You're talking about what people didn't have and what they do have. And as we wrap this up, why don't we see Rudy Gobert on this list, James?
All right, man. All right. So there, at the end of this list, you'll see these top 100 guys on here, right? So, like
that was a joke, by the way.
I know, but I'm continuing a joke. Like you'll see, like people like Draymond Green, like these people are Hall of Famers. But if you say 100 greatest basketball players of all time, it's like no, man. Like I saw. And if this person was the best player on your team, you're never making the playoffs ever in any circumstance. You are always drafting top 10 in the draft every single year. So I'm not in a vacuum, great person to have on your team, but this dude ain't no table setter at all. Like this dude is a supporting character on a dynasty. And it's okay to be a supporting character on a dynasty, and I'm probably shortchanging by saying supporting character. He's an important part of the dynasty, but like he's still at best the fourth or third most important player at any given time. But when Steph is out here with an injury riddled season and Clay has torn his ACL and his Achilles and can't play that year, and Durant has left you, you get the second pick in the draft. Like the defensive guys, the guys that are here for their defense, like Draymond, and I don't know if Matuma's on here, but he's someone that gets on these lists for that kind of stuff.
81.
Yeah, it's like, nah, man, these dudes, if they're the best player on your team, you're not making the playoffs. Cut the shit. Sorry. Like, is Ben Wallace on here?
No.
Okay. Ben Wallace is someone that will end up on a list like this, too. It's like, no. Cut it. No, we can't do that. We can't do this all defense, no offense guy when offense is more important than defense. Sorry.
Yeah. Well, I guess we should wrap it up there then.
Yep. All right, y'all. Thanks for listening. That's in the show. If you are watching from the stream, be sure to go to the show notes when the podcast posts and go to the red circle link and you can donate there. And also go to the Chop Tees store from One Nation Radio and get some merch there. And be sure to listen to other shows on the network. Besides One Nation Radio, you have Keepin It Strong Style, All Things Elite, Imp's WWE Adventure, Wrestling Art with Chris Things, AEW Match Guide, the Trish and Sarah Wrestling Podcast, and Tunnel Talk. Thanks for listening, y'all. Later.
Peace.
If you're a podcast host, listen up, this one's for you. My name is Allie Jackson. I'm the host of Finding Mr. Height, a dating and relationship podcast that I've been doing for 4 years now, sharing my positive and practical approach to dating that's built on my own life experience. And I wanted to share another experience that I've had, my secret behind monetizing my show. It's called Red Circle, and I was just telling my colleague about how much I love their platform. With Red Circle, not only am I getting a seamless hosting experience, but I also love the support I receive in ad sales. It's not just typical ad sales either. It's targeted opportunities based on my show and my life. And the platform is super simple. You just set your preferences and Red Circle matches you with sponsors that align with your show. You can vet every opportunity and their platform gives you great analytics. More recently too, my Red Circle team has brought me opportunities outside of my podcast on social media to really augment the podcast partnerships, bring them full circle. I just can't recommend them enough. If you want to give it a try, go to redcircle.com to get your free trial. That's redcircle.com for a free trial.